Distinguished participants, distinguished professionals, I welcome you all in class to this professional training and occupational health and safety. Okay, just a minute, please. Bring up my okay, so we are live. We are live and we are recording. So I want to specially welcome everyone to this professional training on occupational safety and health. So for whatever you are joining us across board, within the country or outside, I want to say welcome to you and thank you for being a part of this long anticipated professional training on occupational safety and health. So this class promises to be a very, very interesting and engaging one. It's going to be an eye-opener, and it's going to be a way for many professionals who are joining in this training to brush up, to broaden their horizon or their of occupational safety and health. Or let me put it that it's going to be an avenue for you to stay updated of the safety trends that we have in this profession or in this field of study. And with us in class today, I want to believe that we have professionals, people who are practicing in the field of occupational safety and health, people who are professionals in the field of engineering and the field of field works and the likes, who are already engaged with safety practices. So this class is actually specially packaged for you and to help veterans or who are professionals in the field of safety to be able to get along and to be able to broaden our horizon or understanding of the field of safety. Okay, so I wouldn't be doing well if I don't introduce myself. My name is Kehinde Samson Ogunwiwa. I'm going to be your moderator for this class, and I'm going to be, let me say, your host as well, representing the firm, the training firm that has brought this training opportunity to us all. The firm has made this training available to us, and the firm I'm talking about is none other than CUC Concept Training Company Limited. So CUC Concept is a professional training firm that do field of professional trainings. So our trainings cut across board. It cuts across the field of management, the field of engineering, safety trainings, electrical masterclass trainings. So our training cuts across boards. It cuts across the financial firm. So just see CUC Concept as a school of learning, a school of learning for professionals. So for more information about us, you can visit our website to get more about our span of courses and the trainings that we offer. So our firm has been into training for quite a while, for quite some years now. And yes, to the glory of God, we are still here. And we are growing and we are moving at a very faster pace. So part of our goals and part of our vision as an organization, as a firm, is to be able to reach out to a larger percentage of the working populace in order for us to be able to build an effective or a productive workforce. And hence, our trainings, our professional trainings being made available, even on a free note, for people who are eager or who are yearning to get skills, to get the needed knowledge to be able to access this training. So on a norms, if you are registering for our training, yes, you have to pay for your registration and the likes. But in order for us to be able to pursue our goal, pursue our purpose of getting together a better workforce, of helping associations, organizations, or even individuals to be able to meet that expectation to deliver better on the job. That is why we are bringing our trainings out for free. And I'm glad that, yes, you are part of those who are going to be benefiting from this opportunity. And so I want to congratulate you and as well to say welcome to you for being a part of this class. So this training is going to last from now till 5 p.m. Let me apologize. It was due to some unexpected circumstances. That is why we had to reschedule impromptu like that. Nevertheless, we are still going to have a good time. We are going to have a good time with ourselves in this class. So please, the class is going to span from now till 5 p.m. So please, we hold us. Once you are joining the class, just try to put your microphones on mute so that we wouldn't interrupt while the class is ongoing. So with us today, we have a distinguished resource person who is going to be taking us in this training, in this class on occupational safety and health. He has been in the field of safety for a couple of years now. And when it comes to training and delivery, he's actually one of the best in the field. Many of us who have maybe at some point or the other been a part of our class or been a part of our training, yes, must have known the person I'm referring to. Thank you very much. Someone is already mentioning his name in the comment section. So our resource person and trainer for this training is going to be none other than our very own Mr. James Fanny. Yes, I usually call him Mr. Legend, and that is the alias he's known for across board. So many who have been a part of this class can actually attest to the fact that, yes, when it comes to delivery, when it comes to passing on the knowledge in whatever training he's handling, he's actually one of the best, and you are going to enjoy his class. So before I hand over the mic to him, I will want us to please do a very, very important thing for me. So please go to the comment section, introduce yourself, tell us your name and where you are joining us from. So please, within the next 1 minute, I'll do that. Go to the comment section, introduce yourself, tell us your name, tell us where you are joining us from, and what your expectation of this training is. So please let us do that. So for many people who are still trying to gain access to this class, so please, you can share the classroom link with them. We are streaming live on YouTube as well. For many people who are unable to access this classroom, you can equally share the YouTube link with them. We already dropped the links to this class on the WhatsApp group. So please go to the WhatsApp group so you can have access to this class. So let us do that. Please, let's go to the comment section. I want to see the introduction. Introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you are joining us from, and what your expectation of this course is. So please, this is very important. I have introduced myself. I've introduced our guest speaker. It is left to you, and we want you rather to please introduce yourself. So please, let us quickly do that. Introduce yourselves. Let's know where you are joining us from. Tell us your name. Okay, Isaiah Jackson. Okay. So please, I want to see the introduction. Please, let's do that. Let's do that. Thank you very much, Vincent Blessing from Abuja. Thank you very much. It's nice having you join us. So please, let us do that. Just go to the comment section. Go to the comment section. You won't be able to use your microphones at this point. So please go to the comment section, introduce yourself. Let's do that, please. Let's do that. So like I did say, yes, our resource person is here with us already. He's on ground. And in a few minutes from now, you are going to be hearing his voice. So he's none other than Mr. James Fanny. So, okay. Thank you very much. Mustafa Bapatunde Abiodun from Oshogo. Thank you very much. Okay. Adeoye Emmanuel, thank you for joining us. Adeoye, you didn't tell us where you are joining us from. Oh, okay, joining from Lagos. My apologies. Okay. Okay, so please, let's keep the introduction coming in. Maybe Nana from Port Harcourt. Thank you for being with us. Okay, so we have a whole lot to do as far as this training is concerned. Occupational safety and health, like the name implies, it is how, as workers, as individuals, you can practice or deliver your responsibilities at the place of work, taking cognizance of what? Of the job safety, and at the same time, taking cognizance of what? Of your health. So, like the name implies, occupational safety and health. What are the things that you need to do as a worker, as a professional, So all these things are what we are going to be looking at, the do's and don'ts, the rules and regulations that are guiding occupational safety and health. And our resource person is going to do justice to, to the subjects that we are going to be dabbling into in a few minutes from now. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone who has joined us. Erin, Wilfred, Solomon, Jerry from Lagos. Okay, MB is joining us from Delta State. Okay, engineer Dr. Ekewete Usak. Thank you very much. He's a fellow of the Society of Engineers. Yes, we appreciate you. Thank you for being with us in this professional training. Okay, so like I did mention, we have a whole lot of professionals in the field of safety, in the field of engineering, that have, yes, a very good deep understanding of what we want to go into as the subject of, or the topic of today. Okay, so then we know that, yes, we have people who can, give their input, why the class is on. But trust me, the class is going to be a very, very interesting one. And I'm sure that at the end of the class, yes, would actually have a very good feedback from you. Okay, so please let me try to bring our resource person on board. Mr. James, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. If you can hear me, just signify. Kindly signify by waving your hands for me, Mr. James. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so our resource person is here with us. Okay, so we are going straight into class. Let me bring down the screen so that. Yeah, just a minute, Mr. James. Okay, so yes, you have access to share your screen now, sir. Okay, so the next voice you'll be hearing will be that of our resource person, Mr. James Fanny. So please, like I did mention, once you are joining this class, ensure that your microphones are on mute so that you won't be kicked out of the class. Okay, so Mr. James, over to you, sir. Please enjoy the rest of the class. Okay, Mr. James. If you can hear me, Mr. James, I'd love to get a reaction from you. Okay, so please, you can unmute your mic, sir. Okay, so while we try to resolve the audio issue from source person's end, so please let the introduction keep coming in. Please let's keep introducing ourselves. So that should be resolved in a few seconds. Okay. Thank you for joining us, Abdul Rashid from Wari. Okay. I guess our resource person is really having an audio issue. Okay, sir, can you please just leave the class and join again? You are going to be readmitted. Okay.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, thank you very much. You are audible.
Can we see my screen?
Yes, please go ahead. Your screen is up.
Okay, so I'm welcoming you to day one of occupational safety and health management. So thank you for joining us on this training. I appreciate you for registering for this training and for your eagerness to learn and prioritize your safety while you do your work. My name is James Fanny, as introduced, and today we will be having a very nice time discussing and training on occupational safety and health. OSH. Okay, so if I may throw it open, okay, if you want to answer, please, you go to, you will use the in message to actually put in your answer. Have you ever been involved in work-related incident or accident before? Have you ever been involved in work related or incident before? I just need yes or no. Yes or no in the in message. Have you ever been involved in the work related incident or accident before? So if you have not experienced it before, it might be like a fairy tale, but I can see yes. I've not seen any no. Okay, a no just comes up now. So I've seen three yeses and then one no. So please, there's no standing on the fence. If it's no, if it's yes, just put it there. Okay. So the myth and the misconception of people about training like this is that some people just have an assumption that when we talk about incidents or we talk about work related incidents, oh, they will say, oh, that's not for me. So to them is a thing of faith. Today, to them is a thing of declaration or affirmation. They just believe that they cannot be involved in incident or accident. One thing I must tell you today is that most people that becomes the work related accident or incident victim, most of them never expected that they will be involved in such. Nobody ever prayed to be a victim, and knowledge is key, knowledge is power. So things that you do not understand, you can actually fall victim of those things. So even things that you understand and you still handle with you do not handle with care, you might still fall victim, not to talk of things that you do not understand. That is why sensitizing people for you to become aware of things that you may be exposed to in your place of work is very important. Safety is of paramount importance. Safety is number one key thing that needs to be put in place in anywhere you work. Any day, anytime you go to your place of work, safety should be your number one concern. Yes, it is very important for you to get your job done. It is very important for you to be competent in what you do, to be the best in what you do. But if doing your work, you cannot guarantee or work with safety or safety consciousness, the safety of the fellow workers, the safety of the environment, the safety of the equipment and the properties where you work, definitely it does not worth it. It does not worth it going to work, doing your best and losing your hand in a machine. It does not worth it, okay, having injury, you go to work complete, and while coming back there is a part of your body already bleeding. It does not worth it. So if you can prevent it, if you can avert it, why not? If not, so I'm welcoming you. So you can see some pictorial look on my page right now. So look at the emergency brief, that the safety moments. We can learn from incidents. If you have seen a fire incident before, you will understand how fire could quickly grow and engulf a place. So if we can prevent, an ignition, or if we can prevent a fire incident, so why not doing the right thing? Okay, there is somebody here that they are trying to bring back to life, performing, okay, trying to performing CPR on him in this particular place. So you can see this place. We have somebody about to step on the on a banana peel. Of course, that will lead to what? Fall. And when you fall, of course, if you have experienced it before, you have seen somebody who step on a slippery floor or a wet floor before, so you will understand that a lot of things could happen if you step on a slippery floor or banana peel, as the case may be. If you know that I'm audible and you can see my screen, please go to the in message and give me that signal. I really need to know. Just give me yes. I will take one person, just one person, just one person. Give me a yes. If you can see and you can hear me clearly, just say I can hear or I can see in the in message. Can you please do that so that I will be rest assured that I'm actually live with you? Anybody? You are audible. Oh, I can see us. You are audible. I can see. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on. So you can see this person, okay, that just fell on wet floor. So you can imagine something as simple as this that we can prevent. In most cases, things that you overlook, or things that look like they are just so simple, are the things that result to accidents. For example, as simple as you driving your car using the seat belt can actually avert, a serious injury in the case of what? Accidents. But some people will prefer to drive without seat belts. And if you could use your seat belt, definitely you could actually what? Avert a lot of danger. So simple things, simple details, okay? Simple instructions, simple observations, simple administrative control, simple administrative policies could actually put things right, or could avert a greater, challenges or injury or consequence if you could actually what? Obey it. This man here was actually standing blocking the what? Exits. Okay, that could also lead to what? Accident in the case of what? Emergency. So if you have seen this kind of a scene before, okay, where there is a fire incident and then they have to call what? The fire company to rush down so that they can actually quench the fire. You will know that what? It is not a good sight at all. A lot of people will panic. People would be thinking about their properties. Some people, in rushing in to go and save a particular or property that is so important to them, they will get trapped in. Fire will engulf the place, and eventually the person trying to save the property would have to die and perish with his property. So it's not a good sight at all. So to prevent it is far better than you trying to put things in place when it has happened. So prevention is better than cure. So if you can prevent, workplace incidents, it is very important that you pay attention to those details and prevent it, rather than waiting or making mistakes or doing what you're supposed not to do and then facing the consequences. So what is the objective of this training? So it is expected that after this program, as participants, you should be able to establish safe working practices. That is our goal. The place where you work, as an employee, you should know what is not really safe as part of your practices there. The things that you do at your place of work, Either you are being subjected to it or you subject yourself to it. So you should be able to determine that, oh, this thing is safe or this particular thing is not safe. Ability for you to recognize hazards when you see one is very, very important, and it can save you a lot of trouble. Ability for you to foresee what could go wrong before it goes wrong is a very great ability that OSH knowledge would give you. So you should be able to establish safe working practices, safe behaviors. Aside the practices, the behavioral attitude of every employees, your co-workers, you should be able to determine what other people are doing that could actually put you in trouble. Okay? This training would guide you, and it will help you, it will assist you at your place of work for you to work safely. For you to work safely from the exposure of hazards, risk that you may encounter at your place of work. So after this program, you should be able to identify and evaluate workplace health and safety risk and be able to put in the mitigation measures. So there are some risks at your place of work that, of course, when we get there, you will see there are some risks that you cannot eradicate. You cannot remove them. Okay, you live with them, just as most of us also live with risk. You know, where we stay or where we live, there are some risks. In fact, everything around you, you know, is an hazard. Everything that we live with is actually an hazard. They all have potential to cause harm when they are activated. So it's only that the only thing is that some hazards are actually dormant. They have not been activated. That's why you don't know that what they are dangerous. For example, years back when I was serving, I met a lady, very beautiful lady. So she has a mark on her face. So very, you know, very horrible scar. In fact, the way it looks like, you know, if you look at it, if you don't look at it closely, you will think that it's a typical tribal mark. But definitely, if you look at it closely, you will see that it is actually a scar. It's like somebody having a face like this. Okay. Uh, Let me sketch something. Okay. Somebody having a face like this, and then there's a mark like this on her face, going through, you know, crossing through her nose bridge and you know, her cheek like that. So I was so keen. I saw her the first day. We just greeted. You know, she's so beautiful, even with the scar. But the scar was actually a dent on her face. So I was so keen to ask her. So on a good day that I was able to get close, I asked her that, oh, can you please tell me what really happened to your face? Is that intentional? Uh, because I've heard of people who normally put, you know, some mark like that intentionally on the face of their children, maybe when they were sick and all that. I've heard of those kind of story before. So she told me that it was not an intentional mark, and that it's actually, you know, as a result of an incident where she was living. So what happened? She said that what the ceiling fan that they use in their sitting room was working at a very high speed, the highest speed, and all of a sudden it got detached. And that's how the fan got detached. That the next thing that she remembered was waking up in the hospital. That a lot of people carried, you know, worse injury than her own. That she was just so lucky that her own injury was no more than this. So I began to recall, okay, you know, if I go to some visit some houses like that, you will see their fan, you know, working at a very high speed, and it will be as if the base of the fan was actually moving with the fan. So after this story that I heard from her, of course I've heard story of, you know, ceiling fan getting detached before, but after that story she told me, I became so allergic to using ceiling fan. In fact, if you come to my house now, you can't see ceiling fan there. And later on, I discovered that the installation of this fan, most of the electricians that you could better refer to as carpenters, that do not know anything about electricity are the one installing all these fans. So you're supposed to connect the support of the ceiling fan. If this is the ceiling fan, the support of this ceiling fan is supposed to hang on the major roof. But most of them, they will not construct it like that. They will just help you with a very small knot, connected to the tie rod on your ceiling, and that's where they will attach the fan. And they will show you with their weight that, oh, the fan can support my weight. Definitely you can use it. Very dangerous. She could have died from that little thing that she just narrated. But when she was talking to me, I could see that she was very grateful, because she told me that her injury was even, minimal compared to what other people that were in the sitting room with her. The simple mistake, just correct installation, could have actually averted this. And in most industries, across every workplace, even where you work right now, there are some things that are actually being installed, some systems that are being put in place that, if you could do it in the right way, most of the incidents that normally result from them could actually be averted. So OSH is about doing the right thing, following correct policy, engaging the employees in a way that prioritize their life, in a way that prioritize their healthy living, in a way that prioritize their safety and health above every other thing. Even myself, training and speaking on this particular training, I can tell you, a number of, escape that I've actually recorded when it comes to incidents due to, lack of priority for health and safety of employees at places of work. I've worked in manufacturing industry. I've worked in a telecommunication industry, where most of this industry prioritize their job. They prioritize you getting the job done than your own safety. Okay, I've worked with I'm not here to sabotage, but I've worked with Lebanese. Let me use that word. So let me mention I've worked with Lebanese, would want you to do anything just to get the job done, even when you say that, oh, this particular knot is to be I supposed to use a 10 spanner on it. They will tell you that oh, you just work now, just do it. And then you see some people, they will replace spanner with plier, and over time the knot will be worn out. It will be wearing out, wears and tears on it. It will be wearing out until a particular day where you cannot tighten that in again. It can't go that in, so you just have to tighten it, let's say like 70%. And the designer of the machine did not design it to be tied just 70%. The knot could remove while the machine is on motion if you don't properly tighten the knots. A lot of things, a lot of practices like this are going on in our place of work. But why do you have to go through this kind of training and practice? Because when it happens, you will be at the receiving end. You will be the victim, and there is no company that will accept. I've witnessed, I can tell you for free, that there is hardly any company that will come out and declare that they are at fault and they are responsible for any employee's death. What you will always hear is that it was an act of negligence, that the employee was not careful enough, and the dead would not be there to come and defend himself or herself. So you need to prioritize your safety. It is very, very important. So we have a whole lot to learn, understanding the application, care, and inspection of personal protective equipment. There are also a lot of assumptions by companies that people, we just employ them and then we give them PPE. They of course, you are not blind. When I give you a helmet, you should know that it should be worn on your head. When I give you safety boots, you should put it on your leg. But the right practice is that people need to be trained on how to use their PPE correctly and how to use their correct PPE on a correct job. Many people don't know this. We shouldn't give people an oversized what safety boots and say that what they should manage it like that. They are not babies that will assume that, oh, they will grow up, their feet will grow bigger and occupy the space. Your head shouldn't what go inside and be touching the scalp of your helmet. And why we are hoping that what your head grow bigger so that it will fit in. You shouldn't put on a coverall that will look like a Yoruba attire, agbada or babariga. That when you are walking past a machine could actually what entangle with you and you become the food. So a lot of things like this are being overlooked, and there are a lot of people who do not care. In retaliation to the company, they say, is that not what they gave me? And that is what I'm using. But when the unexpected happen, who will actually what be at the receiving end? You. And that is why you have to care about yourself. So you have to know and appreciate the relevance of emergency response planning, basic first aid, and CPR in the work environment. You see, when it comes to first aid, I normally tell some companies when we go and train them, so when you see all of them in attendance, sometimes they will tell you that it's senior management that will attend this training. I will tell you them, why do you want only the senior management to benefit from first aid training? They say, yes, they are the one we can afford, but it won't be effective. Yes, I want to make my money, the company, we just want to take the training and make our money. But if you care that we should educate you, we will educate you. First aid training must go wrong to the extent that even if you have a cleaner in your place of work, they need to actually be in that training. What happens if there is an incident and the only person that is available with the victim is the cleaner? Will the cleaner know what to do? What happens if a fire is just growing, there's just an ignition or a spark that could actually result what a big fire incident, and the cleaner is the only person to spot it, but the cleaner could not use fire extinguisher. So you will see that it's not going to be effective. When it comes to safety, everybody needs to be sensitized. When it comes to fire drilling, evacuation drilling, everybody needs to undergo evacuation drilling, because you wouldn't say there is a fire incident and then the cleaner is inside, she's a nobody, she could die, while every other person who have learned the skill of how they could evacuate the place, they are the one running out. Everybody deserves to be safe. Everybody deserves to know what is safe and unsafe in a particular place of work. So aside the safety manager or the safety personnel or the supervisors going up and down, that's if the company is standard, there is always a safety officer that must be going up and down to check if people are complying with the safety rules and regulations, if they are working safe. Aside this person, even you as a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, even if you are the one in charge of tech, in fact, what you must know is that safety cut across every field of practice. If you go to bank right now, there are some bank now that they are not they are actually creating an interface between the screen and the direct sight of their of their workers. Why? Because a lot of bankers, when you look at them, it is not for fashion. Most of them are using glasses. Why are they using glasses? You cannot be staring at laptop or be staring at system for 5 good years and you will not have problem with your sight. It is not possible. In fact, if it happens, it's a very, very bigger grace. But something that you could actually avoid, if they had actually provided a protective cover on the screen, so that it will not be radiating directly into the sight of the worker, the workers could have done better. There wouldn't be ergonomic hazard over time on their sites. Not quite long that most banks started implementing this. What about those people who have been bankers in the 80s, in the 90s? What happened to their site? A lot of them are just changing glasses from glass to another glass. And in fact, Most of them have retired or they have been fired from the bank, and they still have the effects of the economic hazards, that they sustain while in service. There are a lot of people that you will see the way they are back actually hunch, as if they have hunch back. It is due to the nature of their work. I wouldn't mention the name. While I was working in Kogi State in a manufacturing company, so anytime we follow the staff boss, there are some set of people that work in mines. So when we talk about mines, we are talking about where they do a lot of blasting. There will be explosives that are, they will dig, they will put it in the ground, and then they will blast. So whenever you sit in the staff boss and they are calling a particular person, people normally make jest of them. They just want to show you that these people have a common problem. When you mention their name, you call them. You can call that person 20 times and he will not know that you are not calling. You are calling him. Why? Because the eardrum has damaged over time. Mr. King, Mr. King, Mr. King. You will shout, 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 shout. He will not hear you. People will now be shouting. They will say, you don't know that he's working in mines? Until you move closer and put your mouth into his eardrum directly and shout, Mr. King. That's when he will now shake, to respond to you that you are calling him. So you can imagine. And they sustain this while working. And there are, things to be put in place that could have averted this. But lack of knowledge, lack of compliance actually result to this. I've heard of people before that while they are out of service, you just see them. They can sit down and their hands will just be shaking. They are not stroke patients. The hands will just be shaking because they have dealt with vibrating equipment all their life. Most of those people that normally drill, those people that normally drill, they are used drilling machine. In fact, I've seen somebody in a road construction before. He was even using his weight because he wanted to drill the machine. The vibration will be much to the extent that you need energy for you to retain the drilling mouth at the spot that you want to drill. So he will use his weight to actually pin it down. And because of the vibration, their hearts vibrate and everything. So even if they escape from the internal damage, you will see them in the old age, their hands will be shaking. Those people that are exposed to too much of noise in their place of work, they could even go home. When they get home, they will still be hearing the sound. Their eardrums. I don't know if you have experienced that before. If you go into a party where there is a loud music, even when you have left the party, you could be hearing the reverberation of that sound in your ear. That is the danger. This training is targeted at making you safety champion. And we do hope that you become that after this training. So let's talk about safety. When you hear of safety, what is your attitude towards it? Number one, safety should be your primary goal. Freedom from danger, injury, or death is what defines your safety when you work. At your place of work, the conditions, the environment, the tools that you interact with. Are you sure that you are free from danger, injury, or even death? Okay? So the aim and the objective of this training is to ensure that you prioritize safety. And of course, I do hope that that is your priority for registering for this training and for joining this class. Okay, so let's begin with working and managing safely. Okay, we have a whole lot, but we have to actually dig the foundation so that our second day of this class will be a smooth run. So when we have a grounded foundation, a deep foundation, a well-laid foundation, every other thing we want to build on it will be very, very easy. So workplace accident statistics, according to International Labour Organization, okay, it is actually given as a record that globally 2.2 million people die annually from work-related accidents and diseases, and work-related deaths appear to be on the rise. So you can imagine, the one that you have seen is what you have seen. But what you have not seen, you may never take record of it. But the International Labour Organization have it as a record that 2.2 million people die annually, that's yearly, from work-related what accidents and diseases. Now, when we talk about accident, don't let your we are actually talking about incidents, anything whatsoever that is as a result of you working in that particular place. And don't think that when we are talking about incidents, we are just talking about what physical impact. Not only physical impacts. A lot of people die from stress that they accumulated from their place of work due to the nature of work that they do. It is part of hazard. Hazard could be psychological. Hazard could be physical. We have chemical related hazard. We have biological related hazard. Those ones that, from biological agents, the fungi, the virus, the bacteria. But the most dangerous one that many people struggle with, especially, in the African continent, is the psychological hazard, because the nature of the job might be that you are overusing yourself. Some people, when they are done at the place of work, they still have a spillover that they bring home to come and complete. So the psychological stress resulting from the work can also endanger you. And then it might not be an instant death. It might be something that you sustain over the period of time, and then resulting to what? Death or a major disease, maybe high blood pressure and all that, due to the nature of work that you actually do. How do you prioritize this to ensure that, okay, fine, my safety first and every other thing follows? And that is what we are discussing. So April 28th is actually the World Day for Health and Safety at Work. We hardly hear it being, if you hear of Mother's Day, you see a lot of people celebrating Mother's Day, maybe Father's Day, maybe Valentine, you see people celebrating it. But have you ever had it being so loudly, especially in this part of the world, in the Africa continent, where you say, oh, April 28th, oh, the World Day for Health and Safety? But yes, that day reminds us, celebrating such a day will remind you that your safety is paramount. Your safety first. It is very important. So let's briefly analyze what health is, what safety is, and what environment is. These are three key things that we need to prioritize in laying the foundation for this class. Your health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. There are a lot of people, when you talk about health, they just feel that, oh, I don't have headache, I don't have body pain, oh, there is no sign of malaria, my hands are not paining me, and then I'm healthy. That is a bitter lie. Just like I explained earlier, when you are talking about health, we have to talk about your physical well-being. Are you physically okay? Are you physically fit? Now, after we can see that, oh, you can lift your hand, you are physically fit, are you mentally all right? Okay. There was a time a company was having issues with, it's a sachet water company, pure water company, and then their clients were actually complaining of too much of leakages in the water that they supply. So the company did a lot of background check. They checked the quality of their nylon. They saw that, oh, the quality of our nylon is okay. Of course, we are not using inferior nylon to actually package our water. So, okay, what is now the problem? They couldn't get the problem. So they have to consult. Okay, fine. A set of auditors, that external auditors should actually help them to find out what is actually wrong. I have somebody on that panel who was now telling me, was narrating to me what they discovered. Okay, that could you imagine that where they went to actually do work ethics audits, So it's the person narrating this to me was a work ethics expert. Okay, my field also. So he was gisting with me and was telling me what really happened. So when they got there, they saw that the people, operating the machine, the people packaging the water, the people even bringing the sachet water from the machine and putting on the table, they hardly rest. These people are working 24/7. In fact, the nature of their rest is that if you want to rest, the work is waiting for you. So if you want to go and rest, the water that you will pack, they are just waiting for you. So you can imagine somebody walking and stand and being on his feet for 8-9 hours. Can you imagine the stress? So they saw them while they were coming. They observed that. And when they observe it, they check everything. They saw that, oh, these things that is happening is not due to unsafe condition. We are going to talk about that. There are what we call unsafe condition and unsafe acts. That the result of these leakages must be as a result of, they narrow it down to unsafe acts. But they themselves, they couldn't really say, okay, fine, this is it. But they just observed that the staff are really stressed. So they asked them, what is the shift that you run here? They said that they hardly run shift, though, that they close by 4 p.m. The production will close by 4 p.m. and the workers are expected to have resumed 8 a.m. So you can imagine you will resume 8 a.m. until about till around 4 p.m. You are still working, carrying this, carrying that. If you really want to stand up, it's not like they are stopping the machine for you. The machine will continue to work. That means that if you have to pack 10 and you just rest for 5 minutes, the 10 you're supposed to pack might have become 15. So you still be the one to do the work. They don't have break. So they told them that the only thing we can recommend is that we recommend, that you introduce little break for your staff. Let them be resting. They already know what could actually will be happening, but there was no evidence. Okay, so introduce some level of rest for them. Let them be having this your machine. At least intentionally you can stop it for 30 minutes. Let these people go and rest. If you don't want to be running shifts, some of them that bring food, let them take their food and be rest assured, because most of them that are taking that rest, they are not really resting because the work is ongoing. But if they know that you stop the machine for them, they know that 30 minutes is not like the work is waiting for them. So they recommended that, and they recommended that if you could actually back the water, and maybe because these leakages is actually giving us bad name, and the leakages is making us to lose money. So if the company could have like a month of no leakages and all that they want to start compensating the staff. They should tell them, no, we are not saying the staff are responsible, but we'll start compensating you. Guess what? That month there was no leakages. Intentionally, the staff are the one puncturing the water due to hunger, due to stress. It's just they couldn't puncture their supervisors, but they could puncture the water. And because the company is the one at loss, their own money will complete. In as much you don't catch me doing it, and you don't want to give me rest, you will not also rest. And why they are doing it was not because they are really wicked. It was because when you put so much water on the table for them to pack, they will not see that the workload is too much. So what they do to reduce what they will pack is for them to puncture like 10. They just signal to themselves, how many have you punctured? I puncture 10. How many have you punctured? I puncture 5. So when you puncture 15 or you puncture 20, of course you have saved yourself from bagging like 20. And when they did this, introducing rest, and then these people are now having some kind of incentives from bagging the water without leakages, every problem actually stopped. So you see, the staff were not healthy mentally. Mentally, they are stressed. And this could actually lead to a whole lot of things. Now, if you see some company, they have a discipline to say no smoking inside the factory, no drinking inside the factory. What are they trying to actually work on? Is your mental health. What about the social well-being? The social well-being. There are some places of work that, the nature of work put all the staff in isolation.
it does not actually what kind of promote the teamwork. The nature of the work does not promote teamwork. It only promotes what? You shifting the blame. I've worked in an organization like that before. When I was working in telecommunication industry, I had a very horrible experience. In fact, that's when I knew that, the work would just be based on shifting blame from one person to another. Until you shift the blame on somebody who cannot defend himself, then he will be the one to carry the cross. When you have a work culture, okay, the culture and the nature of work, where you do not actually promote teamwork, team building, and all that everybody needs to do is thank God I'm not the one at fault. Okay, you are the one at fault. Thank God it's not my problem, it is your problem. There can be productivity. And that's because people are not healthy socially. They cannot relate. I can't meet this person if I'm having problem with the work to say, okay, please, can you help me with this? I'm having difficulties. And then you say, okay, fine. Let me just give you a hand. Let's see. Let the work be done. Let the priority be that the work should be done and should be done safely. Okay? So, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. What about safety? Freedom from man-equipment method and environmental interactions that result in accidents. That is safety. When you are making use of your equipment in such a way that the way you interact with it cannot result to accident or incident, that is when we can say that you are safe. When you're working with an equipment that keep giving you electrical shock, okay, electrical sensation, and they keep telling you that you should be using it like that, okay. A friend of mine had an experience, horrible experience. He's actually in the maintenance department. For many people that have worked in manufacturing industry, that we have what we call uh, people that run the plants. Okay, so those are the people that actually run the plants. They are in charge of running the plants. They are in charge of operation. Okay, and some people are in charge of maintenance. So my friend was actually working in the maintenance department. So these are the people that they will carry out the routine maintenance on the machine. Okay, if the machine is actually due for maintenance, they will shut it down and then they will carry out the maintenance. But before they carry out any maintenance, because they were about to maintain a 660 volts electric motor, so he was actually working with an Indian man. He was his boss. So they're supposed to take line clearance on that particular electric motor. So what is line clearance? Line clearance is where you go to perhaps electrical department, because that's the right department to go, and then you tell them there's a form you will fill that this particular equipment, we want to actually run maintenance on it. So practically they will give you, access, or they will give you permits, follow you, shut down the machine, remove the breaker that is supplying it electricity, so that it will not be powered for the period of time that you will work on it while carrying out your maintenance. So that is what line clearance is. And in the plants where both of us were working, it was an automated plant. What it means is that they don't have to go to meet the machine before they can start the machine. There is a control room where they can actually use the system to click start and the machine will start. But the only good news is that anytime they want to start the machine, there will be an alarm so that everybody around that place can evacuate that place, and the alarm may not take that long, the machine will start. So what happened was that the Indian man has missed the scheduled time for the maintenance of that machine, and he was trying to actually cover up. So the machine developed, that particular unit was just shut down for a particular thing. Okay, and he wanted to quickly use that opportunity so that they will put the oil, they will check this, retighten and everything. So he carried my friend. He himself was not touching it because he know that it is a dirty job. And he put him there and was asking him to lose the electric motor. That one was asking him that, sir, where is the line clearance? He said, no, you know what now? Open the machine. And he was working on the machine. So you remember that there is always emergency switch because that's another switch. There's an emergency switch at the place where they install the machine. So if you can actually activate the emergency switch, even if they are trying to start that machine at the control room, it will not start. So he told him that let us activate the emergency switch. The Indian man still told him that, oh, no, don't let us do that. Now you work on it. Okay. This was not to actually talk down on the Indians, but people could be. I'm talking about the personality of that supervisor and not about his nationality. So he was forcing him to work on the electric motor, no clearance, no switch button being activated, emergency switch being activated, and my friend was working on it. Luckily for him, as he was just about to cover the terminal, it was done. Thank God it was not when he was holding spanner on that terminal. If it had been when he was holding spanner, of course, many people that are literate about electricity would know what I'm talking about. You can imagine 660 volts. The one we use in our house, okay, is actually expected to be 240 volts, but it's not usually complete. Sometimes when you measure it, you can see 220, 215. Even there are some places where you see 190 something below 200. Single phase. Your gadget will still be working fine in the house. So not to talk of 415, that is what, 3-phase. But this one is now 660 volts that the electric motor is using. So if that kind of electricity should come in contact with you, just say goodbye. As he was just covering the terminal of the electric motor, that was when he had the alarm and the electric motor just was picked. He said it was almost, boxing that Indian man. At that time, he didn't want to remember if it's actually his supervisor, if they are going to sack him or anything whatsoever. Because that's gambling. His life was put like a bet on covering something he could have done right. And that is why your safety is paramount. Your interaction with the machines, you are the one that know that this thing is wrong, and you have to do the right thing. There was something I learned from my boss when I was working in a manufacturing company in Kogi State. Okay, it's a cement plant. Many of us may know it, but I'm not mentioning the name. It's a cement manufacturing company in Kogi State. So he noticed that the tools that we were using, those tools are not complete again, and this may not be the fault of the employer. A lot of employees, they are negligent. So when you work today, they will not tidy up, good housekeeping. They don't practice good housekeeping. So 10 spanner may be lost today, 8 spanner may be lost tomorrow, and that is when you want to work. You just open the toolbox, you will be seeing that you don't see the right tool to use. So what did this boss of mine, what did he actually do? He has his own personal toolbox that he bought. In fact, his own was, the way he normally carry his toolbox was like baby. So anytime he's coming to work, the toolbox is always with him. So when we want to go and work, we use his personal toolbox. But what must you do? We supervise. Even if we finish the job so tired, we are not done until we clean the tools and set them properly, so that the same thing that happened to the company's tools will not happen to his own. He bought his own tools. Why? Because he prioritized his own safety. This is an act that could be encouraged. I was encouraged to do the same thing when I saw him doing it. He said, look, if it will affect your safety, why don't you invest in it? If your safety is paramount to you, of course the company will not bear the loss. The company can only bear the loss based on the fact that maybe your role is missing for some hours before they replace you. But trust me, you will hardly see any company that will come out bold to say that, oh, we are responsible for his death. It's almost impossible, except that there is a camera that actually covered what happened, that could actually nail the company that they were at fault. They will deny it. If that my friend had gone, what the Indian man would have said is that it was negligent, that you didn't send him to actually do that. And that would be the end of the story. Safety is an acceptable level of risk, a risk that is reduced to a lap as low as reasonably practicable. You know, I explained that what there are some risks that you may not be able to what eliminate, but you should be able to reduce such a risk to as low as reasonably practicable in such a way that what the risk effect will not be too much, too killing, you know, too dangerous, such that what we can actually what run with. When an equipment becomes so dangerous that you know that what anything that happens on this equipment, the person will die. That is not the kind of equipment for you to install in the company. But an equipment where we know that somebody can sustain what a little cut, and we have tried, we have put all the necessary control in place, we see that what no matter what we do, there is every possibility that what somebody can sustain a little cut while using this machine. We can say that what let them start using what hand glove. We can give them PPE. That means that what we have reduced the risk to as low as reasonably practicable. That is safety. So we can say that what you are safe to interact with this machine. Environment, surroundings in which an organization operates, including air, water, land, natural resources, the humans and their interaction. That is the environment. If your environment is not safe, then you are not safe. I've worked in cement plants before, like I said, you know. Most times when you get home, despite the fact that you put on your cover, I don't know if I'm lucky to have somebody who has worked in a, you know, in a company like that before. You will testify to it. When you get home, no matter how tight, you know, how perfect your cover may be, when you get home, when you remove your cover, you will see cement, fine, the fine particles of cement already settle on your skin. And many people would know that what our skin is actually what porous. There are holes, you know, through our skin. So when you sweat, those what cement what particles would be absorbed into your skin, and they are very, very dangerous. When you breathe, the kind of nose mask that we use, you know, is the one that provide highest level of protection for you to actually breathe in clean air. But despite that, you would know that what something, you know, a strange substance is actually what flowing through the what air into your nose. That when you get home, when you try to spit, when you try to bring what phlegm from your throat, coughing, trying to cough it out, you will see that what in your spit, in your saliva, something has mixed with it. That is cement. So it is a plant that you must target that what this is the number of years. There are some jobs like that. You have to target that what this is the number of years you have to spend there, and then you what you make your exit. And while working there, you must prioritize what your safety. You must research things that you can what that you can put in place to mitigate what the effect. It is very important. If you know that you have been with me, I think we have spent 1 hour in the class. If you know that what you have been with me up till now, please signify. Go to the in message to type I'm with you. I'm with you. In message, just type I'm with you. Let me see that what you are with me. Thank you so much, Kenneth. I'm with you. Okay, so I have a good number of people with me in class. Okay, Adenekon Michael, thank you. Okay, all right. Osai, I'm with you. Pastor Ezekiel. Okay, God with us. Kenneth, Prosper, Yakubu, Adeniyi, Daniel, Michael King. Okay, thank you for being with us. Thank you for staying with me. All right, so we are moving and we are digging the foundation, and it's very, very beautiful that we are doing this today. So look at our environment. Okay, when we talk about what environment has to be safe. When you see the way, you know, it has been designed and the nature has presented it to us, okay, you will see that what everything actually what circulates. You breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide, That carbon dioxide is being what taken in by plants, and the plants give out what the oxygen. So you can see it's give and take, and it has to be what to be clean for you to know that what the environment is safe. After all these that we have actually what talked about, it is still necessary, because one of the things that we normally face as a training firm is convincing, organizations for them to organize what safety training. Look at what we are doing. This training that you are doing is a training that should be what made compulsory by all organizations, to sensitize their staff. You need to let them know. Okay, that is what we call induction. During the induction into company, when you are employed, newly employed in a company, no matter maybe your years of experience, you have to go through what induction program. I've worked in a plant before where I did 3-month induction. My 3-month probation was actually what on induction training. What are the things you'll be going through in the induction training? You have to understand what they do, the dangers in what they do, the kind of hazards you are open to, the mitigation plan, every unit that is there, the right quarters for you to go to lay complaint, and all that. But when you look at today, it is employed and start working. You can be employed on a Monday and they will put you to work, say, okay, come and resume work on Monday, and then you are already, carrying safety boots, entering where you're supposed not to enter, with the assumption that what you have started work. After all, you'll be paid salary, so you have to do the work. A lot of people don't really know, the importance of this. Some companies don't know, they don't prioritize it. But we need to know that one very important thing that you need to first know about the importance of, occupational health and safety, or what we call health, safety, and environment, is the economic benefits. It is economical to prevent incidents than to undo it when it eventually happens. Okay, the English people will say prevention is better than cure. As you can see it like that. Okay, what it will take us to sensitize somebody that, look, there is a part of this machine that can cut your hand, that can have an impact on your head. What it will cost us to train the person so that he will work and be very careful while operating that machine is so cheaper than what it will cost us to take the person to hospital after his hand has been chopped off by the machine. So there is an economical benefit. But you see, some company will look at, oh, are we going to spend this kind of amount on each staff, training them on this particular training and everything? But what you don't know is that when it eventually happens, it's because, unfortunately, many people, unfortunately, stay in their country where the law is not really affirmed or embraced or defended, to the core. There are some countries that if any employee should actually be involved or become the victim of work-related incident, and the person is being traced that it is actually the job that subject that person to that kind of incident, definitely the company will not have it easy with the government. The laws are in place and they are very enforced. What you will pay as a company, if you know what you will pay to treat that person, if the person is out of job for 6 months, his salary will still be entering. If a company, should know this, definitely they will do all they can to train that person and put everything in place, because there is economical benefits in safety, health, and environment of every employees, and giving them that orientation. So there is economic benefits, and even for you personally. Now let's come down to one individual. If you are quite unfortunate that you find yourself in the environment where your safety is not being prioritized, and you know that the law may not be enforced, the law may not fight for you for it, definitely you should know that for you to prevent all these things from happening is far, far, far what economical than for you to treat yourself when it eventually happened. I've learned of people that work in cement plants before that they were having effect like they have appendix. It was like appendix. But when they got to hospital and they did the scanning, they found that what there's a substance that cake, inside them. And when it was operated, it was found and discovered to be what? A cake what? Cement inside them. Like when I explained to you that what we normally see what cement what particles settle on our skin when we get home. I used just 2 years. Good pay, but I have to resign. I have to leave the place. Health, prioritization, and so many other things made me to just what look at it, and then I had to leave. Because when you look at people who have even become what the boss, who are actually what at the top of the career, people that you are saying yes are for in that particular environment, and you project yourself being in their level, being at their age, when you will get to their age, assuming yourself that you are still working in that particular plant, you may not be able to what to predict what could have happened to you. Okay, what is the essence of money that you make and then you are spending it on what a particular what illness and of course that actually happened does not mean that the company was at fault. There are a lot of people that do not prioritize their health, because I can tell you for free that what the company recognized that there are hazards. So there are what we call hazard benefits. It's part of the what the salary analysis. Part of their salary analysis, there are hazard benefits that they put there. That money is for you to actually what treat yourself, do normal checkup. Sometimes they will come to plant, they will give us sensitization about things, the kind of products that you can be taking, that even if you have some of these particles settle inside you, they could mitigate it. But guess what? The Africans, as we are, to the large extent, a lot of people will say, oh, nothing will happen. I'm okay, I'm healthy. Once I get home and I take a hot pepper soup, I'm okay. So they will not follow the right way. And that is why when all of these things actually happen to them, when they have what the side effect of all these things, many of them are even afraid to tell the company, because it actually shows that what they have not. In fact, there was a time before I got to the company, we learned that what they used to give them milk, like all this thin milk. The company normally what give all the employees every month. But guess what? As they are giving them the milk, people that will buy it from them are already waiting at the gates. People will just collect it, and as they are collecting it, they will sell it at the gate. They will transact it and collect money. And that's why the company now stopped that. Why are we wasting our effort to be circulating milk? Let us monetize this what hazard benefit. So they monetize it, that if you want to treat yourself, treat yourself, and otherwise, but you have yourself to blame. It's part of what prioritizing. So when you now eventually what sustain injury, or you sustain disease or a lot of things from violating the right thing to do, then you will know that what there's economic what benefit in HSE. Legal reason, like I explained, legal reason in every what organized country, okay, there are rules guiding safety across industries. Yes, there are rules, except that what it is not being upheld, or it is not being what the justice is not being what muted out. But there are rules. Every normal government has put what rules in place that, oh, if something like this happens, these are what we call it compensation, that the staff must actually what be paid if it actually what happened. So there are legal reasons. Okay, you can be sued. I heard of a case. In fact, this one was very close to me. It happened to the other brother to my minister, and he was working in a company that deals with work at heights. So they use hoist to lift them to a particular level, and the hoist was not properly maintained, so it caught, and then they had the experience of free fall. Anybody that understand what I'm saying? It's just like somebody that experienced free fall in a lift. So you know what will happen before the person get down. Many of them, major injury that many of them normally have is their spinal cord being damaged. So this man escaped. There were two in the hoist. The other person, young man, they said he was even about to get married. His spinal cord was destroyed beyond repair. In fact, he became a vegetable to the extent that when they got to hospital, he was negotiating with the doctor that attended to him that they should inject him, that there's nothing he's waiting for again. He was alive, but he had become vegetable. The other man that happened to be the elder brother to my minister, what happened to him? All his teeth, he was just like a baby that had no teeth. All his teeth were removed. His jaw was shifted. He had a broken leg, but his spinal cord was saved. It was so horrible. But that's not where I'm going. So the company wanted to deny that they were responsible. They didn't want to take up their medical bills. And that's where the case actually was started. So after investigation, they saw that the hoist that they used and every fault was actually with the company. So the company resumed treating them. First month, that kind of case is not where people will be treated and then they will already leave the hospital. In fact, like the young man that was like a vegetable, his own treatment was taking a lot of money from the company. So the company managed to reach 2 months, 3 months, and after 3 months, they wanted to retire. They were complaining and everything. And that's why the family, stood up. They wanted to So they were threatening them with lawsuits that, oh, you will be sued if you don't do this. So there are legal implications. That's what we are saying. And every company that recognizes this should be able to prioritize, upholding the safety of the employee, that of the environment, and all those also the equipment. What about the corporate image? How will you feel that the company that you want to apply to, they tell you that, 100 people always die there yearly. 100 people. I trust the African community. They will attach a meaning to it. They can say, they are using them for ritual or anything whatsoever. So the corporate image that, when your employees are just dying, they are just, a lot of evil is just happening. People will not understand that it's just a simple thing, on occupational safety and health that you could have actually implement. There's a lot of names it will give you. Okay, so there is corporate image, the social obligation. You also own it to people where you work, even to your employees, for them to be safe, for their safety to be guaranteed. Of course, their family are waiting for them. They are waiting to receive them back home, and everybody would want his loved or her loved one to return safe and sound. So it's your social responsibility. Just as you driving your car, you shouldn't drive your car with the intention that you want to knock down everybody. Even the person that is not obeying the road sign, maybe by crossing when he's supposed to cross. As a driver, you must be at alert that somebody that is maybe is deep in thought may want to cross at your front. So your leg should not be far from your brake. You should be able to be at alert to use your brake at any time, or to drive in a way that you will avert any bad incident while you're actually driving. So because it's a social responsibility, you own it to people. So as a company, there are some regulations that guide the level at which you can release some dangerous chemical into the air. When you look at some vehicle, especially those ones that use diesel as their fuel, you will see that their exhaust, most of them, their exhaust will be raised up to such a height that so that when the exhaust is coming out, it will be released at a level that it will not affect the clean air that people that are walking around can breathe in. Because it's actually a social responsibility for you to create a safe environment for people that are working in your company. It's a social responsibility that as you are producing, people that are living around that place should not be suffering. So HSA is very important. We have a lot of legislation, EIA decree of number 86 of 1992, the Factory Act Cap 126, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 1990, and a whole lot here. So let's look at some few terminologies that you can actually what, okay, that you can encounter by the time we'll get in deeper in our second day of training. When we talk about hazards, what comes to your mind? Okay. When we talk about near miss, what comes to your mind? When we talk about accident, what comes to your mind? When we talk about incident, what comes to your mind? When we talk about monster point, what comes to your mind? When we talk about risk, what comes to your mind? These are, you know, some of the terminologies that you may actually what encounter. So let's take them one after the other. Now, what is the concept of accident? When there is an hazard and we now have an exposure, then we have what we call accidents or incidents. So generally, this word accident, the general word for it is incident. So when we have an hazard is anything that has potential to cause harm. Anything whatsoever with potential to cause harm is an hazard. Now, when people become exposed to this hazard, don't forget, I told you that what almost everything around us is an hazard. Almost everything. They may just be dormant. Okay? Even human beings, people that you work with at your place of work, they could become an hazard to you. If somebody is mentally stressed, they can do and undo. A man that is drunk, okay, he has become an hazard. Even he can hurt himself. A lot of people that use drugs, you see them hitting their head on the wall and everything, they are not feeling. He's already an hazard to himself. Okay, and he could, if you can hurt himself like that, he could also hurt anybody. So, you know, when we are talking about hazard, the list is uncountable. But the incident only happens when you become exposed to it. The knife you use in the kitchen is hazardous because it can cut you. But it is only when you are now exposed to the cutting part of the knife in such a way that what you could have protected yourself, but instead of protecting yourself, you got yourself exposed to it, then there is an impact on you. It becomes an incident. That's what in the layman language we will call what accident. But really, when we are talking about accident is something that you could have what prevented, something that you know the circumstances leading up to it, the circumstance leading up to it, or the substance responsible for it is something that what you have spotted, but because you refuse to correct it, then you have the impact. That is an accident. And that's why you see that what you will hardly see anybody that will want to leave his house and say, okay, you want to go and have accident. No. There is a banana peel on the floor. You have spotted it. If you could have picked it and what dump it what properly, there wouldn't have been what an accident resulting from that or an incident resulting from that. So it's something that you could have corrected. There is an exposed cable in your room or in your office. If you had actually what called the electrician in the company that could tape it very well, you know, twist the wire properly, or use what a joint what connector for it, you could have prevented what fire what incident. You could have prevented what shock. But when the unexpected result from this, then you will call it what accident. But you could have prevented it. So most of the accidents and the incidents that you see across the industries are things that what you have power to have what prevented, to have controlled, but because of negligence, they eventually happen. So the negligence will bring about what exposure, and then the unexpected happens. So let's look at what the two things here: the unsafe act and the unsafe what conditions. Now, there are conditions at your place of work that may be unsafe. What are these conditions? Okay. What do we call unsafe conditions? Inadequate or missing machine guards. When we talk about machine guards, most machines that have what rotated what parts, what we have in practice is for us to mount a guard around it. This guard is to isolate the person that is operating it in such a way that what even if your hand come close to that place, your hand will not be trapped in and there won't be any cuts. So if there is an inadequate or missing machine guards, That's an unsafe condition. That condition is not safe for you to work. That's why we call it unsafe condition. Defective tools or equipment, an equipment that is defective, that is faulty, for you to work with it, and they say, oh, don't worry, just manage it for today. That's an unsafe condition. Anything can happen, anything can result from it. Or there is a particular machine that is faulty, and they are telling you that, but that's how they have been using it. Some people will even tell you, oh, we have been using it for 10 years and nothing has happened to anybody. That nothing has happened to anybody does not make it right. It's an unsafe condition. Fire hazards. Lose connection of electrical cables. Too much of hacking from electrical equipment or safety equipment. All these can result to what? Fire, fire incidents. So fire hazards, they are part of unsafe condition. Ineffective housekeeping. In fact, you're going to see a lot of these in our second day of training. Ineffective housekeeping. Most of the incidents at workplace, even at our place of abode where we stay, they are due to poor housekeeping. Poor housekeeping. You see, when you hear about tripping, fall at the place of work, most of these are due to what? Poor housekeeping. You're going to see a lot of it. I'm going to show you that grammatically, and all of us will spot it out for us to see that what? Yes, human being, we are a great contributors to what? Workplace incidents. Excessive noise is an unsafe condition. Poor ventilation and lighting. Many people don't know this. Poor ventilation. There was a time I met a man that was telling me that, he work in cold room. You can imagine somebody working in cold room, and they're supposed to provide the PPE, like a chest protection PPE for them. So what they normally tell them is that if you can work. If you want to go home. He said that they work in a very chill, like where they are actually doing the production is very chill. So most of them, you see them, they have cold. They have, every disease that results from cold. That's what they normally suffer from. You hardly see them with clean nose. They always have runny nose due to the place that they work. That one is a great exposure. And there are some people that they work in the hot zone of the company, where they hardly have fresh air. Most of those people that work in a bakery, if you work in the clean unit of cement manufacturing and all that, you are always heated up and all that. Poor ventilation, okay, is an unsafe condition. Poor lighting. When the light is not bright, where you are working, you couldn't even see where you are putting the hands or anything whatsoever. You're just using your instinct. It's an unsafe condition. What about unsafe acts? Working without authority is an unsafe act. When you are not authorized, you are not an authorized worker, because you are going to see some of the signage that you're supposed to be seeing in company. They will tell you that, oh, this place is not open for the unauthorized person. But despite the fact that you are unauthorized, that's where you want to put your head, because you want to know what is happening in that unit. But you don't know. People that are working there that are authorized, they already know what is unsafe in that place. They know where to put their leg. They know where to put their hand. But you, that does not belong to that unit, you want to put your head. So working without authority is an unsafe act, like the one that my friend experienced when they have not taken line clearance on that electric motor 660 volts that I talked about. Okay, they have not been permitted. They have not been given authority to maintain that particular electric motor. They just wanted to the Indian man just wanted to cover up some of the mistakes, and then that's an unsafe act. Failure to warn others of danger. A lot of people don't do this. When you see something, you say something. And that has the slogan of safety at every workplace. When you see danger, you announce the danger. You don't say, oh, okay, I will be careful. So if anybody wants to die, let them go and die. After all, I've already discovered it. It is a poor safety culture when you're in a place where people don't raise alarm about what something that is dangerous, you have seen that what a cable actually shock you. That means that what part of it is already exposed, and now you are safe, but because it shock you. But your intention is that what it should actually was shock many people. Other people should also receive the shock, that you should not be the only person. That is a very wrong concept, a wrong mind of safety. So failure to warn others of danger is an unsafe act. Using dangerous equipment is an unsafe act. Using wrong equipment, using dangerous equipment is quite different from using wrong equipment. There are people that use the wrong tools to do the right job. So they want to do a particular job and they are using the wrong tool. Like, for example, your plier is not for you to unscrew nuts. It's not for you to screw the nuts or to unscrew nuts. Many people use plier to do this. The plier become a universal tool for them. That's what using the rod, because over time the thread on that bolt or on that nut will be wearing out because you are using plier, and then it will not be so tight the way it should be. The thread on it will be affected over the time. There are some machines that they're supposed to maintain that particular unit, but because they cannot unscrew the nut, they will not leave it there permanently. They cannot unscrew that place again. They will just leave it. They will say, you can't unscrew it, so the nut is already damaged. Who damaged it? Is it an animal? It's a human being. And that's an unsafe act. Using the wrong tools, wrong equipment. Failure to issue control measures. When company don't put control measures in place. Like the one I was mentioning, line clearance is a control measure. So that you don't go and work on an equipment that you have not been authorized, electrical clearance on. There are some region of the company you should not go if you are not permitted. These are control measures. Wearing your PPE is part of control measures. Your safety boots, wearing it at the appropriate place is part of control measures. Using your hand glove, if you have an exposure or a risk to your hand being caught or having a cut on your hand, is a control measure. Wearing eye goggle in case of electrical spark, electrical safety, is a control measure. It is very important. Horseplay. We have been to, companies where you see employees behaving like kids, running after each other. And in their mind, they are having fun, they are playing, they are catching cruise. Horseplay. There was a very horrible story, okay, that I heard about a man. He was working for many people here who work in a dusty environment. There's what we call compressed air. So they will put it at every unit. For me, I've worked in a cement plant before. So the compressed air is always at every unit. Let's say you feel that you are now your body is dusty. So you can use the compressed air. It will be with hose. You just open it to any pressure you want to open it to. So you use the air. If you look at what the vulcanizer normally do, most of those vulcanizer just look at something like that. Okay, so those hose that they use to pump tire. So it's just like you're having it in every unit. So the air there is not to pump tire, but it's just to blow our body. Just blow your cover, okay, with the pressure that will not have a negative effect on your skin. So a story was told of two young men. Both of them, they were colleagues. They were working together. So both of them were using the compressed air. We don't know the spirit that entered one of them, and he just faced his colleague. Some people, their life is betting. A lot of people can use their life to bet. What I'm trying to say and emphasize with this storyline is a life story, okay, a real life story. You should not bet with your safety. Horseplay, rough play, gambling lifestyle is not encouraged. It shouldn't be encouraged when it comes to safety and your health. So he faced his colleague and told him that, I can put these holes in my mouth. We don't know what enter into it. And a typical African person. Many of them will not tell you that, oh, no, 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 don't do that. No, that is wrong. Why will you put compressed hair holes in your mouth? So the colleague did not persuade him not to do. So instead of him to persuade him, what he just told him, you cannot. I dare you. You cannot. He said, okay, bet now. And that one also say, okay, how much? How much? So they just place the bet on it. I said, I can put these holes in my mouth. That one say, you cannot now. Okay, put your money. You know, those kind of gambling lifestyle. And that's how they bet. Unfortunately for him, he put the holes in his mouth. It was even his colleague that he was betting with that he told to go and open it. So that one, definitely, he doesn't want him to win his money. So you should know. Adibi is the one that even controlled the opening of the air. Maybe he could maintain the pressure in a way that it will not affect him too much. So he just put the holes in his mouth, and the other colleague, in his mind, he will be able to actually shut the door of his throat so that the air will not pass through. That one just opened the air to maximum, and that was the end of that young man. He died. He had air inrush into his system, and that was the end. He didn't survive it. Unsafe acts, horseplay, gambling, unsafety is not what to be encouraged at a place of work. So I have a quiz for us, very quick one. I have a quick quiz for us. So before I disclose what should be the answer, I want people who could actually think and give me the answer. How do you prevent unsafe acts? How do you prevent unsafe condition? Which is more difficult to prevent and why? So the one I want you to answer, don't answer how do you prevent unsafe acts? How do you prevent unsafe condition? The third question is what I want you to give a try. Which is more difficult to prevent? Is it unsafe condition or unsafe acts? Moderator, are you there? Moderator, are you there? Mr. Moderator, are you there? Which
Can you
one
hear me, sir?
is okay? Please, I need somebody to signify. Which one is more difficult, unsafe act or unsafe condition, and why?
Okay, we
So
have
let people raise
responses
their
in the
hands.
comment section already. Okay, Vincent Dean, I can see your hand. Vincent Dean, you can unmute your mic.
Yes, Vincent Dim, that's my name. Can I respond now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Over to you.
Okay. Unsafe acts and unsafe condition. I feel the one that is more difficult. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, very audible.
Okay. The one that is more difficult to control is the unsafe condition. And the reason why I chose the unsafe condition is because for the unsafe act is basically about you. You're entitled to your actions. You think it through before you do that. But when you are in an unsafe condition, more like your workplace, you're an employee, the condition you find yourself, you have little or no effect to change the circumstances around you. Yeah, the best you could do is to manage the condition you find yourself, your workplace. But for the unsafe act, it has to do with your habit, your character. You can comfortably, as a human being that has the ability to reason and coordinate, control the unsafe act, your activities. But for the condition where you find yourself, it may be a bit challenging to handle because you're just the employee, you're the worker, you're not the manager.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for your response. Okay, thank you for giving it a try. Another person with a different view. Moderator, are you there?
Hello. Hello.
Emmanuel. Please, if you are not called, kindly mute your mic if you are not called. Kindly mute your mic. Adeniyi Emmanuel, I can see your hand. Adeniyi Emmanuel, you can unmute your mic. Okay. Adeniyi Michael.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Who's speaking, please?
Yes.
Okay, Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Safe art is personal to you. Why on safe condition is what you are into, not the one you cannot see visible, you cannot see it coming, but the unsafe act you can see it coming because you are the one that asked for the action. Why unsafe condition is your environment. You can be in one area and unknowing to you, you don't know what is coming out from there, and it can come. But unsafe act is something that you are the one that called for it. That's what I know. That's different between the two. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, thank you very much. Adenekon Michael.
that will be all. So permit me, Adenekon,
Good
just give
evening.
your own response. Yes.
Good evening, sir. Yeah, to
Thank you.
me, unsafe acts, the major reason why unsafe acts is more difficult to eradicate is that unsafe condition, hazard has to do with exposure to what's it called? Um, it's just an exposure to hazard that is human. So unsafe acts means that you are exposed to that hazard. So the way you act to the hazard ensures that yes, you are safe from it. So unsafe acts is very difficult to eradicate to me. I don't know if you get me, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead because okay, thank you so much. So you will see now, I would put everything that we have said together and then you will see the results. Okay, let's look at the results. Okay, let's first talk about the prevention. Okay, and before I talk about the prevention, let me first address the question I asked you, and then I will zoom this place for you to see. Unsafe condition is easier to prevent. Unsafe acts is more difficult to prevent. And why? People that attempted the question, they really tried because you know yourself. You attack the question based on you. That, oh, it's an unsafe act. That is you. Unsafe act is not limited to you, but to you and other employees. If you can work on yourself, you cannot work on others. The actions, if people are really, they have negative actions towards safety, even you, if you are giving it all your best, their action can jeopardize your life. Unsafe condition is general. It is a condition you can see. If you see the wet floor, you can go and take mop and clean it. If you see banana peel on the floor, you can pick it. Those are unsafe conditions. You have power over it. If you see an exposed cable, okay, in a particular place, you can raise alarm and make sure that it is done before you start working in that unit. But when you have people that their safety is nothing to them, you have a colleague, you know, that he does not care what really happened, that can even endanger your own life, even if you prioritize safety. People are the most difficult factors to control, to put in place. And that's why unsafe acts is very, very difficult, much more difficult to control than unsafe condition. Let's look at the prevention of unsafe condition. Safety audit. You can put safety audit in place where the audit is being carried out so that we know, are we really following, are we complying with the safety standards? Are we actually having training for people? Are we sensitizing them? Okay, safety inspections, we can check places, you know, on-site inspections to know if there is any unit that or something that is not being that is not put right in a particular unit. Maintenance schedules for equipment. We can have a maintenance schedule like the one I've used in the illustration so much. There are some company, oh, this equipment every 10 days we have to maintain it. These are what ways to prevent unsafe conditions. Encouraging employee reporting. You can encourage them. Okay, anybody that see something and report it, oh, this is a benefit and everything. So when you keep on encouraging them like that, you can prevent an unsafe condition. Oh, water has already poured on the floor in that place. So somebody is raising that alarm. That is a good way to prevent an unsafe condition. Good housekeeping. Good housekeeping can actually what help us to actually control a lot of unsafe condition. But how do we prevent unsafe acts? How do we prevent it? So you can see, changing behavior is not easy. Changing behavior, for people to change their behavior is not easy. And the best way you can do this is by what? Developing a safety culture. When you see companies that have a very good safety culture, in fact, I can attest to Nestu company. When you go to Nestu company, I've been to Nestu company at Agbara. I've been to the one at Shagamu also. In fact, you will attest to it if you have been there before. That was the company that I entered, and I see them obeying what? Zebra crossing. I was forced to, being a safety trainer for all these years, in most of our roles, how many drivers normally obey was zebra crossing? If you go and stand at the zebra crossing and think that you'll not be knocked down, you're just joking with your life. But when I entered the company, I was told that I should not cross until the security at the gate was pointing finger at me to keep going. And as I was spotting, I just spot the zebra crossing ahead. I said, oh, wow, maybe this man is trying to make me to obey the zebra crossing, because I should not cross until I get there. And when I got there, he told me that he signaled to me that I could cross. That's the company I see that, most companies will write it. This is the minimum speed, but you will still see speed, people driving and speeding anyhow within the factory. Okay, so we need to develop what? A safety culture, and that's what could actually help us to control the unsafe acts. If there's safety culture, if everybody makes safety to become their culture, then it's going to actually help. There is no incident without exposure to hazards. Okay, there's no incident without exposure. Okay, that's why you see that one. Look at hazard here. You can see barrier. There's always a barrier. Okay, but when this barrier is being breached, when there's an exposure, it could become a near miss. What is near miss? Near miss that what? The incident almost result to injury, but it did not result to injury. There was no impact. That's a near miss. Like you will say somebody, he escaped narrowly. A narrow escape. That is near miss. For example, you almost step on the banana peel. There's a natural impulse that when you want to stumble on something, you can struggle with your body, and then you will see that you just maintain your stability. That is a near miss. But if a near miss is not being corrected, if that particular thing that resulted to near miss is not being removed, then it could become an accident or incident. So, and in every 600 near miss events that you see, okay, there could be some incident that it will be 300 of them would be under control with first aid. Okay, the real medical treatment, it could be 30 of them. We can rate the lost time by 10, and then the fatality, like somebody losing his life, could be rated 1. So you can see, so in every statistics, okay, when you have 600 of near misses, expect that you must have recorded 300 cases of first aid, 30 of medical treatment, 10 of lost time, and 1 fatality. And in our next class, we will begin with this. With this challenge, we'll start the class with stating and discussing the difference between hazard and risk, incident and accident, and then we get into practical applications of having to identify hazards. The ability for you to get into a workplace, and spot hazards and things that are actually wrong, and being able to actually say, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. Okay, this has to be corrected. This is an unsafe condition. You see what people are doing. This is an unsafe act. It could actually lead to incidents. So that ability also is very, very good, and it will guarantee you working with prioritizing your safety, your health, and also the safety of the environment and fellow workers. So I want to appreciate everyone who has stayed with us in our day 1. So in our day 2, we get to deeper, aspects of this training. Thank you. I hand you over to the moderator. Over to you, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. James. That was a very great and engaging class, discussing the basics and fundamental things that we need to know and remind ourselves about occupational safety and health. Yes, everything I said might sound, maybe you're used to it simple, but trust me, there are many people who make a whole lot of errors when it comes to occupational safety, a whole lot of errors. So in safety, we don't assume. That is why the knowledge has to be taught and retaught over and over again. People have to be trained repeatedly, and not to assume that they already know all that safety concerns or safety entails. Okay, so I want to appreciate our resource person, Mr. James Fanny, for that wonderful class. Okay, so quickly, let us go straight to question. Let's go straight to questions. So please, if you have a question for the trainer, just signify by raising up your hands. So I'll call on you. So quickly, let's do that. If you have a question, signify by raising up your hand so we can take those questions before we move to other things. And then we bring the class to a close. Okay, so and those who are joining us via the YouTube live, please, you can equally drop your questions in the comment section. We'll do well to take them. Okay, so let me start with Ekerete Usak. Pardon me if I didn't pronounce that name correctly. So please, Usak, you can unmute your mic, please.
Okay, thank you so much. I think the next is
you are sounding far away. Can you?
No, so I am that far away. Can you hear me now?
Wow.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Am I audible now?
Okay, please go ahead. Let's see if we can get what your question is.
Can you hear me now?
Very well. It's better now. Please proceed, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. So mine is not a question. I'm just going to add a little value on based on experience. I've done safety in mobile producing Nigeria for over 24 years, and I got retired at an early age. You may ask, why am I attending the class? While working for company, my company sent me on training and they retained all my certifications. Okay, so I think there's the last part of the presentation. I always like that triangle that shows 600, 300, and that, but is this important information we need to sometimes pass across to listeners or audience? It is not always valid that it will follow that process. There are unsafe conditions that a little slip from a watery floor can lead to death directly. Thus, the outcome is one, death. So in many instances, it may get to a bruise, a wound, a dislocation, but some little near misses can result in enough fatality that can take entire life. Like he said about the guy that did the horseplay. If you put the compressed air in your mouth and then someone open, you don't need up to 10, 15 psi. That can blow off your lungs, and that is the end of it. So that triangle is just a guide that if everything is working up well, then you must have had that data before it gets over to a fatality. And it's a good one we say about unsafe act and condition. Unsafe act is terribly difficult to control because no one can determine what's the intent of an action until when you've seen the action. So for instance, you don't know what I want to achieve by what I'm acting. But if there's a condition like that of safe floor, so we can actually put up a calendar for housekeeping in our facility, keep on removing them from time to time. So that is very valid and correct. But there's one aspect of safety that I don't know, maybe by tomorrow is going to be captured. Approaching others. Approaching others is one step towards looking at unsafe acts. So for instance, you see somebody walking on the street and it appears he's using phone or so, you can approach him, excuse him and talk to him about safety. You shouldn't be using handset, and then that possibly you can be hit by a vehicle and things like that. Recently I have an issue that I had to intervene, and it was during investigation that I realized that the young woman who was nearly knocked down by a vehicle just played this CBEX, and she lost a lot of money, and she had also informed others to go into CBEX. So you see how outside work environment, safety is very important. And when she lost all her money, she's walking on the street, she's a hazard. She doesn't know where she's going. She doesn't look at the road because she's thinking of my CBEX, or my 1 million, or my 2 million, or Mr. Ayo will call me, or I ask him to invest money. Man, you can see how safety can interplay. So
Yes.
all the same, I think I'm very happy about the present. Even the pastor in the church, he can be a hazard. He's holding a church. Before he used to have 100 members, some silly actions from him or some information, people start going daily. He will begin to think, how do I get back my members to the number that I used to report? So
Well,
he's just a
absolutely
hazard in the
correct,
way that thing.
Mr.
Thank you
Officer.
very much.
Thank
Thank you
you
very
very
much.
much. Yes, thank you
You're
very much
welcome.
for your contribution. Yes, our time is fast spent, and this
Yes.
is a minutes to 5. Thank you very much. All you said is very, very valid, and relating to all what the resource person has actually mentioned. Okay, so please, because of our time, let me quickly hear Udenwa Prosper. Do you have a question? Do you have a question, Udenwa Prosper?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I have a question. So my question is from the explanation the instructor gave. So he mentioned line clearance. So I wanted to ask, the line clearance he mentioned, is it the same thing as lockout and tag out in terms of electrical operations? Are we talking about the same thing?
Okay, thank you very much. So let me allow the resource person to respond to that, so we can dismiss from this class. So please, I crave your indulgence. Just give us, I think, 5 minutes so we can wrap up. Yes. So, Mr. James, over to you, sir.
Okay, I think that's a question of yes or no. So of course, that's what we. So the line clearance I was talking about is the Lototo. So we call it Loto anyway, but there's also Lototo. So log out, tag out, and test out. So that's exactly the line clearance I was referring to. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. James. Okay, so please, because of our time, we won't be taking more questions. But what we are going to do is, if you have questions relating to the class of today, please go to the WhatsApp platform and drop your questions there. Yes, the trainer also is going to be there, so we'll be able to attend to those questions via that medium. So please let us do that. We don't want to stay more than what we have agreed. Already, we've exceeded the allotted time. Okay, so on that note, please, like some do ask about certification for this course. Yes, there's going to be certification for this course, which we are going to make available. So at the end of the training, yes, there is going to be an assessment, and your assessment is very, very important. So please, 60% performance in the assessment is going to qualify you for the certification. So information relating to the certification is going to be shared on the WhatsApp group. We have a document containing that. So please just stick to the WhatsApp platform. The information related to the certification is going to be shared there. So any other information or questions that we have, let us communicate via that channel. Okay. So tomorrow our class is going to be between 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Unlike today happened due to some unforeseen reasons. So please, class tomorrow is going to begin by 2 p.m. and is going to end by 4 p.m. We have a whole lot to discuss tomorrow. So please don't miss tomorrow's class for any reason. Okay, so please let us take note of that. So please, we would love to get your feedback of this class. So please just go on the WhatsApp group, drop your feedback of the class on the WhatsApp platform. We'll appreciate that a whole lot. And it's going to encourage others who for one reason or the other couldn't be a part of this class. So for everyone who has missed today's class, the recorded video is going to be dropped on the WhatsApp platform as well. So you can go back and rewatch the lesson or the session for today. So before we engage with tomorrow's class. Okay, so I want to appreciate everyone for joining us in this class. Yes, thank you very much, Emmanuel Onwumelu. Yes, you have learned a lot. Yes, we appreciate that a lot about you. And it's okay, so please, our YouTube channel is there as well. Please, I expect everyone who is in this class to please subscribe to that YouTube channel. We have loads of training videos on that platform. Yes, we have a training ongoing on project management professional. which is going to be ending this week. It's a 3-week long training. So this week is the last week, and the training should be ending on Thursday. So please, you can go to our YouTube channel. You see many of our videos, many of our engineering related videos, some of them that we made available on the YouTube platform. So you can go there and rewatch before they are taken down. So please let us do that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel once you are there, and follow us so that you'll be able to get ample information or notification whenever we have live classes like this. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for being with us. I can't mention everybody's name, but yes, we appreciate you a whole lot. So till we meet again tomorrow, please do have a restful night and a productive week ahead. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Choice. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.